What we're going to be talking about in this video is how to let go of the past, because a lot of people in this society, in this life, are holding on to a lot of past trauma. They're holding on to a lot of pain and a lot of, past experiences that, maybe they have it consciously, maybe they know they're holding on to this pain. Some people don't even know that they're holding on to this pain. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of us are holding on to this pain and we don't know how to let it go. And we carry this pain with us in everything that we do. And maybe it's not pain, but it's just something about the past that you haven't fully came to terms with. You're holding on to this, and when you hold on to this impacts everything that you do. And you carry this in your consciousness into everything that you do in your life. You take it with you, you carry it with you, unless you actually deal with it in the conscious moment. People are gonna feel this energy off of you unless you actually become conscious of it and let it go. So how do you actually let go of the past and connect more deeply to the moment? This is a really deep topic, but really the best way to deal with the past is to become more conscious of what is going on in the thoughts in your head. Because a lot of the times, this past pain that we're carrying on to comes in the form of unconscious thought patterns. Okay, some people call this the ego. Some people call this the unobserved mind. The word is not necessarily important here because ego is a very popular term that people use to represent, the unconscious thought patterns. And really what this means is you might have a lot of thought patterns in your mind that you don't realize that you're thinking. You don't realize that you're thinking these thoughts. And then when you don't think about them, they are controlling a lot of your actions. You might be carrying a lot of pain in those thought patterns into your social interactions. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you're talking to somebody and you tell yourself like, I'm not worthy, I am not worthy to talk to this person, or like, I'm not confident to talk to this person, that might be coming from a conditioned experience that you had as a kid. Maybe you were, made fun of in class as a kid, and then ever since that day, you had a thought pattern in your head that told you, I'm not confident, I'm not worthy. And the thing is, this is really, really interesting because when you have a thought pattern like this and you don't realize that you have it, it is controlling who you think you are in that social interaction. And so you're going to be carrying that pain with you for the rest of your life until you actually become conscious and aware of those thought patterns. And it just goes so much deeper. That was just one example that I thought of at the top of my head. And so when you are unconsciously thinking these thought patterns, some people call this the ego, which means that you don't have enough presence within you to observe these thought patterns and see the negative consequences that they have on the actions that you take and the way you relate to people and the way you move forward in life. Unless you have enough presence and awareness to observe these thoughts while they are happening in your daily life. Because the thing is, if you don't realize while they are happening, they're still happening. And you're never going to know this because they were unconscious. That is the crazy thing about unconsciousness and unconscious thoughts, is that you don't realize that they are happening. Okay, that is the ultimate key. Because when you have these thought patterns and you don't realize that they're happening, it doesn't mean that they're not still happening. And that especially when you don't realize that they're happening, that is when they control you the most and make you carry that pain with you. Because just because you don't realize that it's happening doesn't mean that it's not still happening. And so the only way to become aware of this pain that comes in the form usually of thought patterns, because if you don't understand what that means, the thought patterns usually is what gives the emotional reaction. And the emotional reaction is usually what gives that body tension, which comes in the form of your body tensing up, your shoulders tensing up, your eyes tensing up. You can look at somebody and know when they've been through lots of pain in their life. You can see the tension that they're holding. And a lot of the times this tension and pain, it really comes from unconsciousness and not being conscious of thought patterns and the body tension that's going on in your body. And there's just so many interconnected factors here that are making you carry that pain. But the ultimate key foundation that's going to branch off to make you let go of that pain is awareness. Okay, and awareness is powerful because this is a word to represent what it means to actually be aware and be the witnessing presence of certain thought patterns that are going on in your life that have that pain connected to it. Those thought patterns that you were unconscious of is actually what is holding that pain. And so the moment you begin to do something like a formal meditation practice, which is an incredibly powerful tool when it comes to letting go of past trauma and pain, when you do these meditations and these mindfulness techniques that are available, what's going to happen is you might start to become conscious of certain thought patterns that are going on in your head that you may have adopted from a young age that are actually carrying that pain with you. Certain thoughts like, I'm not worthy to do this, or I can't do this, or I'm not confident, or I am depressed. Like a lot of people have, physical chemical imbalances in their brain that are making them depressed. A lot of other people have certain thought patterns that are going on in their head telling them who they are as a person. They think that they are somebody that's not confident, that's not worthy. They really develop a sense of self. That's who I truly am. I'm not worthy. Little do they realize that it's just a thought pattern going on in their heads telling them who they think they are. And they believe way too much in the contents of their on the content of their mind. And when I say believe in the content of your mind, believe is a understatement, because it's not that you're believing the content in your mind, it's that you were so unconscious of the thought patterns in your head that it almost controls you and takes you over in that moment. That's what Eckhart Tolle calls the ego. The ego, because when you're unconscious of these thought patterns, they tend to have a very strong pull and momentum trying to convince you that that's who you are as a person, which a lot of the times carries a lot of pain. And so when you begin to develop this sense of presence and this witnessing presence within you that can observe the thinking and not take them so seriously, this is when you're going to begin to let go of a lot of stories and a lot of pain that you are carrying in your life. This is where you're going to begin to change who you are on a deeper level and let go of that past trauma. Because once again, that past trauma really is coming from your lack of awareness. And when you develop that awareness to actually get closer to the pain that you're unaware of, that is when you begin to let it go. Because the only way to let go of the pain is to first become conscious of it. The only way to change your thought patterns and change who you are and become the person that you want to be is to first have awareness of the current thoughts that you already have, the current negative thought patterns that are already going on in your life that is carrying that pain. So the ultimate key here is to develop awareness. How do you develop awareness? You can start something like a meditation habit that will take your awareness to another level, where you can begin to observe your thoughts rather than take them so seriously. Notice that we give a lot of meaning to the thoughts, and meditation is not necessary, but I don't like to say that because it's just such a powerful tool. You can observe your thoughts not by meditating, but when you have that reference point of knowing how to observe the thoughts and how to connect more deeply to the moment, how to observe those thought patterns, that's when you use that formal practice and those skills that you developed, you're going to be able to carry that over into your daily life. That is where the real power comes in. It's not when you just understand what I'm saying intellectually, but when you get an experience for it. And not only do you get an experience for it, but you begin to develop it and incorporate it into your daily life, where you can actually catch yourself thinking certain thoughts about yourself when you're in social interactions, noticing pain in the thought patterns that you never even noticed before. And the crazy thing is that when you didn't notice it, you didn't see that it was controlling you. And only when you begin to notice it is when you develop real control over your thoughts. And you can begin to consciously redirect your thoughts in the direction that you prefer and enter the reality that you prefer, because now you have more conscious awareness of what is happening. So really the key here is to develop awareness and consciousness, and develop more consciousness of what is happening. Awareness is the ultimate key, because once again, the only way to let go of pain and negative thought patterns is to first become aware of the ones that you already have. Then you begin to choose the reality that you prefer. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this kind of content that talks about how to get out of your head, be more connected to the present moment, and really stop this unnecessary conceptual thinking that is going on in your head, then consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a video every single day. Have yourself a great day, and see you in the next video.